You're listening to the Los Rotos Podcast with Vanessa Scaduto.
Vanessa Scaduto.
Produced by Upside Down Creative Media.
Upside Down Creative Media.
Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to Los Rotos Podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Scaduto. Today I have my guest here, Jamar Torrence.
Hi, I'm Jamar.
What's up, Jamar? How you doing today?
What's
Yeah,
up,
you doing good?
I'm doing pretty good.
How was your drive here?
It was pretty sick. It was just, I was low on gas, so I had to steal gas from my uncles. Little tiny little gas containers for lawnmowers and stuff. I took all the gas out of there. Only $3 worth of gas, so...
Let's hope you didn't mix anything into that gas, because some people do for their lawnmowers.
I've asked him previously twice, like, any oil in here? Is it diesel? He was like, no, it's just pure gas. So.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I've done that too, but I was also in my early 20s when I did that.
Do it.
But listen, I appreciate you being here on time. I appreciate you stealing gas just to get here on time. I was so proud of you.
I borrowed it, son.
Okay, borrowed. Do you have the little gas container in your car to fill it up for him? So you stole it.
I didn't steal it.
You definitely stole it. Mm-hmm. So what I want to talk to you about, though, is like give us a little background, of yourself. Like, when did you start comedy?
I don't really remember. I know I've been doing it for like 7 years. But I don't actually remember because when I first started, I quit for like a year. And then I came back and I wasn't really good. So I didn't really keep up with like any important dates or anything. Mm-hmm. So what I can think of, 2015 is when I was officially telling people I did stand up. Okay,
so I met you at least 3 years ago now. 4 years ago? 4 years ago I've met you. Yeah. I know the time has flown by, man. Let me tell you. That's right. We're in 2022. So when I moved back from California, I remember I went and saw an open mic. This was my first time coming back and like really checking out, like to see what the scene was here. Because California is completely different in some ways and also very similar in some ways too. But I remember I saw you at Dahlia's and I was like, yo, this guy's funny. I did. I thought you were really funny because your ideas were off the wall. Like you're a good storyteller.
Oh, okay.
I think that honestly, most comics are great storytellers. At least the good ones are great storytellers. It's not just like punchline after punchline. So that was the first thing I thought. But I didn't know you were doing it for that long.
Yeah, I was bombing for like ever. I'm still bombing. Always bombing.
You're not necessarily bombing. I think sometimes it's the enunciation. People don't hear every word you're saying, and that gets lost in translation.
No, it's the best when everyone hears exactly what I'm saying, and they're like, "That's not funny," and they start just breaking down what I'm saying.
But that's not.
They're deconstructing my jokes. I'm like, okay, at least you understand the jokes.
Is that what they tell? Who tells you that it's not funny?
No, from the like. Not
the
laughing.
response of it.
Not laughing. It's when I'm saying audibly what I said back to them. Like,
you don't think it's maybe because we're in the South and some of your jokes are a little controversial? Maybe
my jokes are pro everything, dude. It's pro life. It's pro
abortion.
Pro abortion, pro life. It's pro infinity.
It's pro infinity. You're like Thanos or something in this universe where
exactly.
You're like, I'm just going to fucking kill them all, bro.
I'm going to go after everybody and talk very silly. Hopefully people will realize, oh, this guy's, he's a bumpkin. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's a bumpkin. Well, let me ask you something then. Like, what made you start to want to do comedy? Like, what made you, like, go and look for an open mic even? So even, like, you know what I mean? What made you first get that passion?
Fun fact, I did not look for the open mic. I happened to... At the time, I had no friends. I had friends, but then they moved away. And it's so hard to keep up with people, especially when they don't do anything. I did absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's very true. So that's
usually how it works.
I didn't have any friends. And then so I would just go to Rain Dogs.
Okay.
Rain Dogs every week by myself. And on Mondays, they had a thing called Trivia. Not thing called Trivia. It was called the Rain Dogs Trivia. And they were comedy afterwards.
Okay.
You start seeing the same exact people every single day, and you're like, huh. So you go back there. Of course I like comedy, but probably like I thought everyone liked comedy.
Yeah, I've learned that a lot. That's not true, which is so weird to me too. But yeah, there are some weird people who don't like comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, they like different kind of shades of whatever. The Office to them appeals very good. Fucking Friends.
But those are sitcoms. I mean, they're comedy, but they're not stand-up comedy.
There are people who will put Friends above like, I don't know, actual legitimate comedy shows like The Simpsons that put Friends above All in the Family.
Or like South
Seinfeld.
Park.
Yeah, people think Friends is just as good as not Springfield.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
I was like, I thought you were going to say Seinfeld. But Seinfeld to me was pretty hilarious, though. I think their writing was a little bit more creative, but it was just a bunch of white people, you know? I mean, it's one view of, you know, somebody's life in New York City. It's not necessarily a good expose of of all people in New York City.
Well, maybe it was. It was a big hit, dude. I mean, now, what's more Friends? What's more New York? Seinfeld or Friends?
Seinfeld.
No, Friends right now is way more New York. Bunch of white people. Not as a bad thing. And coffee shops.
I was just like, have you heard the news about New York? It's going back to the 70s, bro. It's Fear City again. Woo! People just getting robbed and held up by gunpoint. And guess what? They will go to jail one night and they're released.
Oh, yes,
they're not keeping them.
Yes, they should be, man, because you got to have evidence.
No, I literally just heard somebody recently posted that this guy held up a coffee shop, broad daylight. The cops didn't even bother coming because they're like, we're just going to release him the next day. It's like, what? He used a weapon. Like, it wasn't even like he pretended to threaten them, like with a fake gun. Like, bro, just straight up, you know.
And it's to proven guilty.
Yeah, but you got to be proven guilty if with people, with officials, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only...
I got innocent. There's no evidence against them right now.
Well, besides that, it's going back to Fear City is what I'm saying. So it's no Friends. Okay, it's no Friends anymore. And also that was weird. That was just a weird show. Because I never pictured New York as friendly as that. I mean, I'm from New York. I mean, I'm telling you right now, New York was never like, I don't know. It was just nobody in a coffee shop I don't know. It didn't seem realistic to me.
Probably not. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. I didn't have any friends. And I just started doing stand-up. It just happened to be there. And I just bombed for like fucking years, dude.
So you just started doing it because you wanted friends? Or you've always liked comedy? You just... I
think it's like an amalgamation of both.
Okay.
I just started and then, you know, keep doing it. And then little by little, you meet people. Little by little, people are like, hey, do that kind of thing. You know, it was becoming interesting instead of just not interesting, which is always a thing. It happened.
So you thought you weren't interesting before you started doing comedy, or now you have something to talk about, you mean? Like with people, like you're like, I do comedy, I'm creative, or... No.
I don't think I'm creative. But no, you don't really have, I don't like reading books. I like going outside. I like smoking weed. I like just chilling with the homies, hey homies. But yeah, that was basically it. And then so, of course, it's not really appealing to people, especially when they're like, what do you want to do today? Like, whatever you want to do today. And that can become overwhelming. And then so, you know, and now it's not the point anymore. Now I have some really great loved ones that I can call that. So that's really fun.
Yeah, I have to say, like, it is a special community, comics. Like, I would say we are a very diverse group, as my father put it, a white man. We're very diverse, he said. But he meant that in the most, like, complimentary way, because I don't think everybody lives their life like that. Like, they may be posting some stuff, but like, do you actually have Black friends you invite over to your house, or you just take a picture at work? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real about it.
Work Black friends are real friends.
If you hang out with them outside of work, like at your house, maybe, but I'm telling you, like, there's a book called How to Make Friends with Black People. I'm dead serious. And actually, I should let me
don't reference that book. It looks probably awful.
It's written by a Black comedian. Hold on. It's a great read.
He's trying to troll you whiteys. He's like, go there and say hey.
No, my Black friend who bought it, he told me I didn't need to read it because I already am friends with Black people, but I told him I still want to read it, and I read it. It was hilarious. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think everybody should read it because he points out...
Do not read this book.
Read this book. Read this fucking book, okay? Which, of course, my internet's not working on my my laptop, but let me pull it up here.
You just want to become friends with people, become friends with people. I think there's no like real manuscript to do it. It's like that kind of thing about how to pick up ladies or chicks or bitches. You just go there, talk to them. He's like, hey, how are you doing? You find out you have something in common, and then something happens from there. There's no like code to pick up ladies, no code to pick up black friends.
Okay, it's Making Friends with Black People by Nick Adams. Okay, listen, all I'm saying is in there, he brings up issues where white people think they're friends with black people, but they're not really friends with them. It's not that I'm not saying that these white people are somehow like racist or anything like that, but they think that that's enough. You know, like that's not true friendship. But anyway, I'm glad you found friends. I'm not saying, God, I don't even know where that was going, but. Yeah, no, but that's cool. I didn't know that about you. I thought we were closer friends. Like I didn't know that you didn't feel like you had friends before. I just always thought you were just friends with everybody.
I didn't have friends before, but that's okay. Hell yeah. And that's how I started doing comedy. And then you keep going to different open mics. Meet new people. I met you. Shout out to Tedors.
Yeah.
My homie Ted. And yeah, dude, that's kind of what it is.
We will have Ted on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I really didn't know that. That's interesting, though. I
remember you because you were the hot lady who used to come in and just sit there and just like be very, very quiet. And just laugh like, and then just leave. And I was like, who's this hot lady? And I remember you probably, because this is my memory, so it's probably skewed. I remember you saying fucking Steven was funny. I remember you said Trevor was funny. Not me at first, because that's a bomb. And then Little used to be like, oh, Jamar, you're pretty funny too, after a little bit. But because of me being like, who the fuck is she? How come she's not saying I'm funny?
I don't know if that was the case, though. I don't have that memory, but you could have that memory. I mean,
right? It could be totally
now that I'm doing, I try, to go out more often, I understand your feeling. Like, I know that I don't get no comics really give me that much feedback. When they do, I appreciate it because that means they actually are listening or they were interested in what I was saying. So no, I get what you're saying though, if I never said it, but I wasn't a comic. I was just some audience member at the time, but I was just kind of getting to know all you. Marcus was the first one to like kind of talk to me or whatever. Marcus Crespo, he'll be on here too, but he was like the first one to kind of talk to me about it. And I think he pushed me more. You pushed me to go on stage because you guys kept, I eventually became friends with all you guys outside of it and just started showing up to everything pretty much.
Yeah, everyone should.
And maybe I didn't have friends. I mean, I had friends, but I actually would ditch my friends to go see comedy. Like I'd go by myself because none of them they didn't seem like they got it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I guess it's this weird passion we have. Like maybe it's all the trauma. I don't know. Because there's one or two comics that I've met that go, I'm not traumatized. I'm not this. But then last night, one of them was talking to Chance and was semi-admitting, like, he's like, oh, well, I'm not perfect. I'm like, why do you then try to step to us comics like you're better than us then? Like, why do you not tell us? I was like, oh, here you are talking to my partner who's covered in tattoos, admitting some of your trauma. I don't know if he was afraid of the tattoos and he felt like he had to admit he was also slightly fucked up. I don't know. But all of a sudden he was just, like, oh, I'm fine. Which, if I get him on here, I'm going to fucking bring that up because I didn't bring it up in this situation because I was like, this is a comic conversation I'll have to have with him.
Well, no, I think it's like one of those things. You have friends who are older. Who are, you have any friends in their 50s and 40s?
Yeah.
Who still blame their parents, and you're like, okay, dude, now it's our lady, get over it now.
Yeah.
Now the real world's here, and they fucked you up, but you gotta get over it.
Right.
And there are some people who got over it, and to them, bringing it up, even though it's healthy sometimes.
Right.
Oh, no, I'm fine. I mean, a couple people like that who just like, fuck it, that happened. And you meet some people who live in that kind of thing, because it's important to feel it, but then also get over it.
Yeah, but I don't know if pushing it away helps. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, it does.
Does it really? I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it has to be addressed, but you're also right. There has to be a balance to it because if you live that like martyr or victim or whatever, then you're going to perpetuate that in other relationships and project that shit out into the real world for sure. But I know that my dad, like he just visited And like, I feel like we go over things all the time about what happened, but also he's the only parent I can talk to. Like my mom, I can't address stuff with her. It's always an argument or whatever. I mean, how are your conversations with your parents? I mean, I know a little bit, but I don't know how much you want to share with everybody, but I know you love your mom.
Yeah, mom's cool. Yeah, a lot of turmoil, I can say. But it is what it is. Like my father, he wasn't in my life a lot. So yeah, growing up was kind of hard. I was homeless.
Oh, me too, dog.
That's pretty funny.
Me too.
Yeah, so it's always really funny when I talk to people about hard living because I don't live in a world that's actually real to me. Because I should be homeless. I shouldn't have anything right now. But for some sort of reason, I do have these things, and it's through the hard work of others. So I'm always like, this is super interesting because I should be feeling, a lot more the tightening grip of life, the vice, if you will.
But does that give you more motivation to do more because you have more opportunity now that you didn't realize?
So before, this is like a little thing about me, I was always on a schedule. I was always someone else's time. And it wasn't until recently, I'm like 28 years old, where I became free and I have literally no restrictions for me. And my response to that is to be a piece of shit. So I really love. I really love like doing drugs, doing nothing. Before I was trying to do all these kind of stuff, trying to be like, avoid this, but now it's fun. And,
just being a piece of shit, you're saying it's just fun? Well, I don't think you are a piece of shit. I don't know. I mean, like...
Interesting.
I don't because I get it because, I have been out of work for a year, but I went back to school to try to...
I am gainfully employed.
I am not gainfully employed. I am not. I need a job, okay? I need one. Like yesterday. No, I do have an interview Monday, so we'll see. Hopefully they don't watch podcasts or anything. But no. So I get it though, like, cause there's a part of me that doesn't want to do anything. Like, why am I even existing kind of thing? But then that gets kind of in the depressed area where you're like, what does that actually mean? But then there's a part of you that's like, what if I do nothing? Like, what, is it going to change anything? But I do find life more fruitful when I'm doing more creative things and doing stand-up and seeing you guys and like having that camaraderie. Like I don't even go out to hang out with anybody anymore unless it's the comics. Like I don't really have I have less of a life now when I got more serious about comedy than before. But it's like I still feel like I'm still not fully in it when I need to be more, involved in it.
No, it's a trap, son. It's all a trap.
Is it though?
Yeah, all of it. See, I think of it like this. Everything is a cult. Everything is a trap. But it's good. It's good because certain things build us up as people. So I'm like, if we do it's like brands or a cult. But even like, what do you like? What do you prefer? So if you prefer, I don't know, parks, there's a whole system between keeping parks clean, from volunteering to forced labor. Sometimes people are incarcerated, to people just volunteering and, also, what's the other I'm looking for? Jobs, or if you like going to movie theaters, it's a whole kind of feel of like you go in there, you buy these really expensive snacks to go see this movie that's taking a year or so and you get immersed in the world. Everything's kind of a cult, but it's also good. Getting lost in the system isn't a bad thing. What happens is people tend to think of themselves as Neo and think they're above the fray. No, listen to the fray, let it consume you, let it become you. It's okay. Okay,
listen, time out, okay? Did you see the new Matrix?
I loved it, yeah.
You loved it?
I fucking loved it.
All right, this is going to be spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. And our producer, Marshall, just cheered. So I don't know if he just did a fist thing. So I don't know if he liked it too. I loved it. Hated it.
It was great. It was phenomenal. People are babies.
They made the video game just shots of the movie, the first one. Yeah. Like it was just very, I don't think it was well done. There were some really corny, cheesy areas. I don't know. I didn't understand. I mean, I think Keanu is a beautiful man and I would love seeing him in anything, but he just seemed very old in this movie for some reason.
Yeah, he's almost 60.
But he doesn't, but it was funny because when they were in the Matrix, like, he's supposed to be fighting the new Morpheus or whatever. Spoiler alert again, I'm sorry if you haven't seen this. Fast forward in a few minutes, okay? Or just don't bother because it's a waste of time. But personal opinion, hot take, they like it. But basically, he's in the Matrix. Why is he getting up on his knee using his hand? Like he could just pop up like he did in when did the first movie come out? 99, right? 99, just before I got knocked up.
This is one of the issues of why Liam Neeson was still killing dogs when he was 71 years old. People don't want...
Or he was a truck driver on ice.
Yeah, ice road trucker. He was getting his daughter back from the Taliban, I guess. He was able because people don't want to see grace. They don't want to see you get old gracefully. They want to see you still be young to keep up the rigmarole. To me, what the Matrix represented now are the two, I guess, the dichotomies, I'm using that word right, in movie making, where you have the Spider-Man movie, which I also love, and you have this one, where the Spider-Man was just a lot of, remember Spider-Man? Remember Tobey Maguire? Remember Andrew Garfield? Remember when Gwen Stacy fell?
Yeah, but
spoiler alert.
But don't you feel like, lots of spoiler alerts. Don't you feel like, though, they're just trying to redo things because they can't come up with any other better idea?
That's what the Matrix is all about.
But no, the whole point is we're in the Matrix. I don't need to be reminded that I'm in the Matrix of in the Matrix of in the Matrix. What if that movie was to say that it's not even really happening? That's still in our heads. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's your interpretation of it. I think, for me personally, the fourth one was about everyone's interpretation of the Matrix is right, because it's what it is. It's interpretation of whatever you think it is. I mean, there's a lot of... Yeah,
from your perspective, I guess it could be. Yeah, if I was Ed Gein and I started wearing women's... if you guys don't know, Ed Gein was a serial killer who killed a bunch of women and then did leather work with their skin. That's where they got the...
Who's the guy who killed Lennon?
That was John McKinley?
Probably.
Something like that.
But like, he read Catcher in the Rye and thought, kill John Lennon. That's not what it's about. It's about, the loss of innocence.
Yeah, but he also was like obsessed with Jodie Foster and stuff. There was a whole thing about that.
No, that's Reagan.
Oh, no, that's Reagan.
That's Reagan.
I'm sorry. Gosh, I'm getting all kinds of... Listen, white men, what you're saying is white men are scary.
Dude, no, the white ladies are scary, dude. White ladies are...
No, but anyway, Ed Gein, he wore women's skin and stuff, and you're saying that was just his reality.
No, I'm saying more of the guy who killed... No, not the guy who killed... The guy who killed Lennon, where it's... The loss of innocence to him was the fact that the Beatles were becoming more adult. They were experimenting with drugs. They were telling you about this. They're telling you about the loss of their innocence. And he turned and read this book, and the only thing that compelled him to keep going was the fact that he must encapsulate them as a single thing. Shit that stopped them from aging, stopped them from being bad people, stopped them from... Because they were always going to be the younger version of what he wanted, which is very interesting. But I think people need to grow up. And I think when the Matrix is talking about is just like, whatever you like about the Matrix, you can take it and you can have it and it's yours. Either if you're a lady or a person, not lady, a person, but if you're an individual who has...
Even if you're a lady.
Yeah. If you're a person who's like trans and think of it as like a beckoning to be yourself. If you think you're a man who's like, Neo's trying to break from the system, that's okay. But then to keep wanting that, and to keep being like, no, man, talk about the allegory of the cave, it becomes ridiculous at some point to be like, okay, you got three of them. They were all this thing. Now it's time to let go. Now this can have, spoiler alert, the whole thing was about breaking free essentially in the movie storyline. So when also Neo broke free, Trinity broke free, because remember, he didn't think he was the one, but Trinity knew he was going to fall in love with the one. So in that case, he wouldn't have been the one without Trinity. To me, it's a great love story. It closes it back to what it eventually is.
So obviously they're trying to make another one after that because they have to somehow go get Trinity, right? That's what I saw when I saw that, and that she moved her little fingers or whatever. Another spoiler alert. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like we're just keep digging this thing that doesn't need to be brought up again. But I don't know how we went that far down a rabbit hole when I was just asking about, but that's probably my fault. I always do that. I always go off on tangents.
You know what's funny though?
What?
All the original movies are straight DVD. If you want to see the original content, go right to the DVD section. It's all bullshit. If you want to see big blockbuster movies, go see the third or fourth installment of your favorite franchise. No one's rushing to the bargain bin to see, oh, what's this movie about?
I know. I mean, but I don't know, man. Have you felt like there was, well, you obviously like The Matrix, but was there another movie that you thought recently was like so good that you like shared it with people? Like you're like, hey, you guys got to watch this?
Probably, but I'm not thinking of it right now. Only thing that got me really was that I'm always constantly telling people about is fucking Furiosa, the fourth Mad Max movie.
Oh, I don't know anything. That was good?
It was amazing, dude.
I mean, I just played,
fucking amazing.
On PS3, I think it was a game, Mad Max. But that was...
Yeah. So what about you? What's the last thing you saw? What kind of content are you into right now?
Well, lots of paranormal stuff. Always into paranormal stuff.
Okay.
I didn't really ever get into like horror or gore stuff until I was with my partner now because, him being an artist, he loves like that kind of, because it's more than just, gory stuff. It's actually art. Like they have to create it and like, create whatever monster they're doing. So there's a lot of art behind it. So I started appreciating it more, understanding like what the artists have to do to make it look that way. But I don't tend to like to watch those movies by myself. Like if
content, we like music, books, anything like you're following on IG, Facebook.
No, I mean, I still mostly listen to hip hop, which is funny because people don't picture me as that person, but that's literally like I've been just listening to some old school Wu stuff, like some Ghostface Killer, some Cypress Hill.
I've listened to a lot of Kodak recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, Kodak I
haven't really listened to him in a while.
He's amazing.
But where's he originally from? Like, where's he from? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he's from Miami. But I think he's like either Haitian, he's from Haiti.
That's what I thought. I thought he was like South Florida or something, but I couldn't. It's weird because it's like you would think I'd be more into like the South rap stuff, but I'm not. I'm either West Coast or New York East Coast. You know,
that's
stuff.
what we prefer.
Well, I grew up during the hip hop era in New York City, so I was kind of lucky. Like my brother got like bootleg tapes from Wu-Tang before they even made it big. So we were listening to them. And I remember when we first moved to Miami, my brother was probably like, he had to be like 15 or 16 like that. So he had one of those tapes and he let his friends listen to it. And they're like, oh, that's whack, this and that. And then 36 Chambers comes out all of a sudden. Oh, now you all want to ride Wu-Tang's dick, bro. But like we were listening to them like way before. Like my dad actually let us listen to NWA. I was like 9 years old. My brother's 4 years older than me. So my brother had the tape and my dad bought it for him. And he would let my brother listen to it out loud. And like, I remember, there's a lyric in there where it's a sound bite and it goes, the world's biggest dick, don't matter, just don't bite it. And I didn't understand as a little girl, like what exactly was going on. But I'd be like, dope man. Like I'm so little. But like, so I guess, I don't know. Our family's kind of, when it came to music, my dad just basically let us listen to anything. I mean, he was listening to Howard Stern in front of us. I don't think.
Yeah, Howard's some good content. He's still good.
As a little girl, I don't think it's favorable for little girls what we were seeing.
Ask you a question?
Yeah.
So recently, Billie Eilish did a interview and she said how porn destroyed her kind of viewpoint on relationships, on her sexual, what she was ready for, and she said it was a bad thing to expose so many young people and young people being on the internet, so much porn, so many sexual things. You're a person who has a history in, not history in porn, but history in like, what would you call it?
Well, it was called the Internet Judge. So you have to go in and rate stuff video wise, and it could be anything. And a lot of it was pornography. Okay.
So like in those, do you think there's an oversaturation of like porn to the young masses? Or do you think it's
100%
not that serious? Okay.
I think 100% yes. I mean, it's. I think it's actually pretty devious the way they do it. Like even my
daughter, do you mean the porn industry, the internet,
any of the websites, any of the advertisements or whatever they do, because it sneaks it in there. So like there was a good example is my daughter was in elementary school at some point. They were searching something on their web browser, and they all have filters. Especially at school. Well. She's looking up unicorns or like the 4 Dead Horsemen because I let her play Red Dead Redemption, and I know a lot of parents probably don't want to but I did. I let her play that, and she was only allowed to go around killing the animals, like whatever. But like I didn't let her take a prostitute or things like that because it was kind of like GTA in some ways. So. But then she's reaching the 4 horsemen because she wants to draw it on some book report, but the teacher doesn't know. The teacher thinks it's religious. She's looking up. I'm like, no. She's trying to find him images of the video game so she can draw them. Well, When you scroll down, she saw a big penis as an advertisement, but she didn't know what it was. So she clicks on it. And then it's some old dude having sex with a young girl. And I say young girl, I'm talking about the girl had to be in her 20s. But for a 9, 10-year-old, you know, and my mom freaked out because she was like, you know, Vanessa, she's looking at something. So I go in there, I open my MacBook. And I can go, she tried to close it out, but I can go back and look. And I saw what she was watching. And luckily it wasn't anything heavy. But it was definitely.
So wasn't it BTW?
Well, she didn't get far into it. It was just starting the beginning of them getting intimate. But it was just some old man screwing some young lady. You know, that was the fetish for it, you know. And like 18-year-old girl or whatever, that's what they're trying to run, right? Still creepy, but she still doesn't know. But I had to explain to her that, unfortunately, this is just pretend. Like they are having sex, but not everybody has sex for love. But
you're projecting. It could have been love.
It was not love. But
listen,
let me just say what I said to my kid. Okay, so all I did was like, love isn't always like this. You know, sex should be, doesn't mean it's always going to be, but it should be with somebody you care about and trust. And she go, oh, okay, Mom. Now, the other stuff, like I would catch her on YouTube once she saw that, she tried looking for it. And that's the scary thing is like, I had to go sneak into my dad's room to find a VHS tape. Sorry, Dad, now you know. And so I had to go and look for it. Or one time, first grade, I brought one of my dad's Playboys or Hustlers to, or maybe it was Penthouse. It was one of them. He had multiple. But, the irony is my father hid those at the bottom of this huge box where all our Halloween costumes were. And we were creative kids, so we'd sometimes put them on and dress up, and that's how I found them. But it was just, and then I had a dumbass kid try to tell me basically dared me to bring it, and I did, and then he ratted on me. You're a fucking rat, David Henson. I still remember you, bro. I still have a scar from when you pushed me up on that chain link fence, David. Anyway, but yeah, so David Henson, fucking rat bastard. Yeah, he fucking ratted me out, told the lunch lady, she called my mom. And my mom was so embarrassed. I can't believe you did that. But nothing happened. My dad just moved his porn collection somewhere else. But whatever. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on the tangent.
No, that's what I actually, because I was reading some individuals who are upset at Billy because they feel like she's pushing the narrative of good parenting. And this is one of the things I find with people who do gaming a lot, because gaming has become a big issue with pay-to-play websites and also things that have that push kind of addictive personality when it comes to buying skins, dance moves, any kind of property.
That's like Skyrim, Fortnite, all of them have it.
On fucking steroids.
Right.
It's always been a thing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the parents are complaining like you're building up addicts, you're building up individuals who are stealing credit cards or doing things that are
sex
crazy.
Addiction is a real thing. I know that some people probably boo-hoo it, but I really think it is. It's compulsive. After a while, because you're training your brain to get an endorphin release from this, and it can be compulsive.
But they're blaming the parent. They're saying, the individual. But I think it's kind of odd. I think it can be a world where this all exists, where it can be
society's fault too, or what do you mean? Here's what I think. I do think it's up to the parent to keep an eye on what the kid is looking at and whatever. That it's nobody's fault, in the sense of like, oh, they shouldn't be. Like, I'm for sex workers; they can do whatever. Like, but it is my responsibility for my parenting. Like what I do, what energy I take to monitor her, because it does take a lot of energy now. You have to do a lot more things to monitor your kids, but I'm never going to be like, there's parts of me that feel for some of these women because I don't necessarily believe all of them would be doing what they're doing, depending on what their life situation is.
Men?
But, the men, I don't know. I don't know their stories either. But I do believe that society gives a pass to men in a lot more ways when they are getting more pussy and this and that. Like we had a president who said he was going to grab somebody by the pussy, and most white women Christians ignored that.
A lot of women, whatever, ignored it.
Those were the majority of his voters, is what I'm saying. So that to me is like where you're trying to instill these Christian beliefs, but then you're hiring a man who has none of them. He doesn't fall into any of your moral standards. So he has several divorces. ex-wife, even on record, talks about him raping her. I mean, there's
also forgiveness. Is the best virtue?
That would be up to his old ex-wife, not him. Forgiveness of what?
People forgiving him. Like, oh, you're good. You're a good virtuous person.
Whatever. His wife barely likes him, dude. We see it every time.
Dude, she loves him.
But either way, I don't really care about Trump in the sense. Like, I just thought it was funny. I thought it was ironic. I kind of miss him sometimes because he would say some funny shit. The one thing,
he's hilarious.
you may hate Trump, but that guy is fucking funny. And he just brings so much content, in so many ways. I mean, it just by, his facial features, when he's like, when he makes fun of people, I'm just like, this guy stayed in first grade. Like, he's never grown up. He just had a lot of money.
No, he's always ruled. Can you imagine this? He's like, 81 years old? Can you imagine keep ruling for that long and never not being that cool? Like, I'm the coolest person here, and you're 81, and they want you to stop being cool? Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know, man.
I'm never going to stop being cool.
I wonder, I think about, like, what's going to happen when he passes away. Like, what will finally be, like, unleashed? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like so many people are just going to release it's just going to barrel out like just a glacier of fucking information.
I think the Matrix 4 is going to put him in a pod
maybe.
and then rebuild him.
He's just going to come in another face, but he's going to sound the same, and he's going to be like, listen.
All the DMs like.
It's just like Biden with his here's the deal, man. It's like he always, here's the deal. And I'm like, why are your eyes so closed? Can you not see the monitor? I don't know.
The scene where Trinity and Neo touch each other and then lights explode. It would be like that with Trump and the microphone. They're like, get him away from it. He's like, Mexicans.
How many more minutes we got, Marshall? I'm not. Okay, I just want to make sure because we could keep going on this stuff, but.
Actually, a question about it. So I had to stop processing in my head. I'm going to try to turn into a bit. But you know how they used to say back in the day, if you were a person who slept with a lot of people, then your punishment for some reason would be having a lot of daughters. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, it sounds somewhat familiar.
And so my thing is like nowadays I want to turn that into the opposite, where there's a lot of sex positive guys who I'm calling them creeps. I don't know if they're actually creeps or they're trying to change the way their viewpoints are. They're like, oh no, women can have multiple sexual partners. Women can be like this. And I'm just waiting for them to have daughters and be like, yeah, push that same shit, dude. Tell your daughter she can like go out there, bust it wide open, and it's okay. Tell her. I want to see that so bad. I want to see these older guys.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, I want my daughter to have some freedoms, of course, like with her body and everything like that.
But not going to Freaknik.
Well, I just want her to be safe. I don't care really what she does. Honestly, I don't even want to know per se, as long as she's safe.
Yeah.
And also, like, it sucks because it's this weird dichotomy. I grew up in a different time. There was a lot more fear and shame with religion, and especially having a Latin mom. And then my dad grew up Catholic, but he didn't like necessarily put the religious stuff on us. But there was definitely, as a woman, you felt there was different standards. There was definitely a double standard.
Well, I don't think it was that. I think it's the same thing. It's just they didn't call it man's fault. They call it shame and what do you call it? Shame and guilt. So instead of being like, oh no, in the 50s, he's going to be murdered and shot. But now they're so like, oh no, he's going to be killed. There's no more shame and guilt. They call it what it actually is. Oh no, you're going to be like hunted down.
Well, I just think like, okay, so I think there's so many factors involved with people, right? Like,
have you heard about the eye trackers?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's fucking insane.
Well, that we could go into Neuralink and all that stuff.
What's that do with that?
What?
What?
Do you know what Neuralink is?
Oh, is that how you hunt down hot ladies?
No, Elon Musk has come up with a device that you insert in your brain that basically will read everything you're seeing. Like, it does everything. It's AI, basically. It's a chip installed in your fucking brain,
That's
bro.
Cool, dude. That's fucking awesome.
What? You're talking about a GPS tracker, and I'm talking about a chip that's installed in your fucking brain. You're like, yeah, that's fucking cool, but isn't the other thing crazy?
What do you think glasses are? Glasses are science. You get hip replaced, your knee replaced. That's all science.
Yeah. But here's what's. I think it goes into your cerebral cortex. Is what I'm saying.
Badass.
This is. What is that show? Black Mirror? This is Black Mirror shit, dude.
Well, what if it helps people with cognitive issues?
Sure, if that's actually what it's going to be used for. But here's this thing. Because of man's creation, they're just mostly evil, in my opinion. Like, And not men in general. I'm talking about man, like mankind, guys. Relax.
They follow that lady who did the blood thing.
What lady that did the blood thing?
Well, I forgot her name. She deepened her voice and was like, "Oh, I remember that a couple years ago. She was trying to say from a single drop of blood, you could get history of diabetes, history.
Yeah, you could
possibly in the future. But she was saying it was like happening that time, and she had like $1 billion, and then turns and find out that." And this is kind of weird because I watched this documentary.
Oh, you're talking about this lady that supposedly, I think if I'm thinking of the right person, she supposedly was supposed to be holding on to people's stuff, right?
It was supposed to be a blood thing, but it's a tech business. And they were saying from a single drop of blood, they could do all these wonderful things. That it wasn't really physically possible. But apparently she didn't do anything really illegal, except for the fact that the shareholders want their money back. It's kind of gray area.
Well, I think what she did was she lied about her technology. But the technology exists. It's just she didn't have it or access to it is what I think. And then I don't even think she had credentials. I think she even lied about her credentials is the issue.
I think she lied about her credentials.
But then I don't know, man. There's so many fucking evil people.
Evil people, not evil, man. I'm sorry. Back to the.
Well, no, I was saying men are evil. And I mean like mankind. I'm not saying like that's why I said not men. I meant like mankind. I'm saying like once. Why are we worried about this pronoun? I don't understand what's happening right now. But all I'm saying is like once we put something into work, humans end up fucking it up somehow. We can't have anything nice is what I'm saying. Like people inherently, there's going to be the dark and the light, man. Like
dark and the light?
Like us now. You know what I'm saying? Like there is opposites. There's always going to opposites always exist because that's the universal equation of it. And unfortunately, if the good don't work hard enough to defend from that bad or darkness or whatever, shit's going to go awry. You know what I mean? Like it just is. That's just the nature of the course of it. I mean,
I don't think so, but that's an interesting viewpoint. I don't think there's a negative or positive.
I mean, I'm not saying this is what I hope or wish for. I'm saying what I've noticed my whole 40 years of life is that somebody always ends up fucking it up for somebody. Seriously. Like I was just watching, I think Georgia is having like some serious crackdown on like their DUI stops. Like there was an investigative reporting about it where cops are literally pulling people over and they can say, well, even if you don't score on the breathalyzer, they can say, we believe you have marijuana in your system or cannabis. You have cannabis and they'll be like, I don't smoke, sir. And they're like, sorry, you're going to jail. And you have to wait months and months to get the results of your blood test. They'll come back negative and then they'll dismiss it. But guess what? Now you have an arrest record and all this stuff. So basically they're doing this based off of their opinion, not really a test, nothing there to actually assume. So it's like, and then they'll go to statistics saying, well, 85% of our arrests were accurate. Okay, what about the 15% that you just ruined their lives? And now they have an arrest record and now they have this and that, or they have to pay thousands of dollars to get an attorney to get this expunged. Like that should have never happened.
Yes, that's very much true. But also, we can't use those examples because then what about all the other cops who do other things that are terrific? I'm not going to then say, oh, this is why we should help these people. I think it's just a person-by-person kind of thing. And it's like...
Right, but we're awarding them for ruining someone's life. I'm not going to do... there is a standard that the one person that is being affected by this should have a voice.
No, I mean the whole structure thing. That's the person-by-person thing where it's like, yeah, that... a person's in charge and letting that happen, doing that. But that's not, it happens in every kind of like way of life, like you were saying earlier. And there are also people who go above and beyond. I think it's more of a neutral balance kind of thing. Like, you heard about Hearst, dude?
No.
So they were going out of business and they had like a whole bunch of people leasing their cars or, renting their cars.
Right.
And the way they were doing was instead of having updating their software, anytime paperwork came back that was like miscellaneous, they didn't understand it, and their car was out, what they would do is just flag it stolen. And so like something similar to what you were saying.
So basically they were arresting customers who...
Yeah. And that's so funny to me because can you imagine that? Can you imagine?
I would sue the fuck out of them.
No, but like, how would you be arrested though?
I would show them my paperwork. I'd show them my license.
They were still doing this, but you going to jail. People doing that, and they're still going to jail. But I'm saying, how would you be arrested? Because I'm saying N-words. I'm saying, I'm going to call Jesse Jackson.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
You ain't doing that? I'm doing that.
Don't say the N-word, period, anyways. Like, I was literally listening to ODB yesterday, and he's like, shame on a who tried to run game on a. And now I can't say when we were kids, we didn't think about it because we weren't as conscious. We're just, rapping along, liking it. But now I consciously am aware. So you know how many times I have to bleep in my head to go, wipe that word out, wipe this word out, wipe that.
Okay, so you're Italian. If it was an Italian cop, would you go racist? The Italian cop? Because I would just go full racist.
No.
I would be so belligerent.
No, I'd just be like, hey,
I'm going to ruin your day.
No, you know why? Because I've learned, because of my white dad. My white dad my dad has gone into depositions when, the judge is telling him he's supposed to dress up. He wears a fucking t-shirt that's tuxedo. Like, he was just like, fuck all y'all. You trying to, because of something happened to him with his business partner, which was not his fault. So he was just like, fuck all you. You're suing me for $1 million, this and that. I could kiss your ass. So, but I've learned that my dad didn't get as far with that attitude. You know what I mean? Like, my dad, he's smart though. He'll tell me things now, like what to do. When I got my car accident, he's like, get an attorney. You definitely need to get an attorney. And I'm glad I did. But like that kind of attitude, I don't, nah.
No, see, you're too whatever. I would get all the homeless people and get them to like do junk in the fucking parking lot and just OD there. I'm like, look at this Hearst place, all these OD homeless people.
No, I would just sue the fuck out of them. I want every dollar. I don't want them to even have any reason to not give me my goddamn money. I mean, seriously, I'm not missing out on money, dude.
Give me 2 G's. I'm calling that cop up.
2 G's? That's nothing, dude. That's nothing. You could get more than 2 G's.
Yeah, no, dude.
Because you got to pay for your lawyers. You got to pay for your expunction. You got to pay to bond out.
Just coming out of all of it. I'm saying when it was all said and done, I'm going to need 2 G's out of it.
No, you better not. You need more than 2 G's.
I'm going to be wild. I'm going to be a wild boy.
You need more than 2 G's.
I'm going to Hearst. I'm calling every single day. I'm showing up. Like, I'm going to adopt the kid to go bully their kids at school.
So let me ask you something. Are you ever afraid, about these repercussions in the afterlife or anything? Do you believe? Like, what I'm saying is, do you believe in karma?
No, dude, no.
You don't believe in karma at all?
No.
So what about paranormal stuff?
No, dude, I don't even. No, this is a thing. I told you this one time, but
yeah, because I asked you about it. I want you to talk about it on camera.
But this is one time I got super drunk. And I was hanging out with some friends and went back to sleep. And so this is a long night of drinking and stuff. And it was this thing where you drink and you forget where you're sleeping or where you're at.
Right.
So I woke up and I didn't know my surroundings. And I had one of my friends who was in the shadows walking towards her bed was next to mine. And for a split second there, it was kind of strange where I saw this person and I was like, oh, wait a minute, who is this? And it was a figure all dressed in white. And I was like, what? Ghost? And I was going to scream. And in a split second between me getting ready to scream, my brain was like, ghosts don't exist. That's a person. And I was like, oh yeah, ghosts don't exist. I was like, oh yeah, I don't believe in ghosts. But I also told you this before, because I know you believe in ghosts. One of my biggest fears is being inside one of those television shows where it's like, what would you do, but for paranormal activity? So you go to a house, you think it's a job interview, turns out it's a cult, and shit starts shaking and moving, and you're like, wait, I know this isn't real, but why would people lie to me about this being a cult? Why would I drive out here 45 minutes on my way? Why would they have, fucking hidden cameras? So you start freaking out and you start running away, and then someone says, it's a show. And I bet you that's how so many people die. They think to themselves like, oh, they're fucking with me. This is a real murderer. And they get stabbed. They're like, no, that was real.
That's true though. Like I think about that too when I watch those reality prank ones, Like I sometimes I can't watch them because they get me pissed because what do you do? Like there was one Latin girl on that show though. She had the same thing as me. She was about to fight people to get out of that house. And I would have too. I would have just fucking fist fought. I would have been like, get the fuck off me. Like, I just would have just fucking juked everybody and just like fucking elbow slammed them right in the throat to get the fuck out of those houses, dude. The fact that some people just curl up, I would be fighting. Like my action is, I'm like a first responder, dude. I don't just fucking cower. I'm like, move, grab something, a weapon. Like, I don't, I'm too, PTSD has made me stronger.
What if that was Alec Baldwin's response that he kicked that lady? He was like, I thought it was serious. I thought it was actual Wild Wild West and he shot her.
Oh my God. I don't know about Alec Baldwin, dude. I don't know. Did you ever hear him talk about that? Like he doesn't sound that sorry. Like,
I mean, it was an accident, right?
Yeah, supposedly. I mean, I'm just saying, like, but he doesn't want to take any responsibility because of legality issues, you know? But I was just like, well, then what's the point of going online, like, talking about it? Because people are looking for you to say you're sorry. But when you go, I'm sorry, but it wasn't my fault, then it just like...
Yeah, but no, it will be like if your car, you knew your car was like a little weird. You're like, I'm taking it in. And you go to drive it one day and it goes on a hill and it hits a person and they die. And you're like, oh, fuck, I'm so sorry. And someone tells you, oh, your car was faulty. And in your mind, you're like to yourself, like, oh, I know I should take this car in, but it was faulty. And I think it's one of those things you got to associate. Are you going to beat yourself up because you thought, like, oh, I can wait a couple of days to go?
Right, but would you be charged with manslaughter or not?
Oh,
you would. You would. Yes, because there was a case recently that truck driver got 101 years or something, 110 years. Well, they commuted it to 30 or something like that, or something, which they're still going to appeal. But it was the same issue. He couldn't stop his truck and ended up killing 4 people.
I think it was slightly different.
No, that's exactly what happened. He couldn't stop his truck and he was going like 80 miles per hour, but there was nothing he could do. He did try to, there was witnesses that said he tried to swerve off, but there was already enough people in it. But I want to get back to the paranormal stuff, but that guy got charged, okay? And Baldwin probably should, but he's too rich. But this paranormal stuff, why don't you believe in it? Like, what is your...
Have you ever met a ghost? Like, an actual legitimate ghost? Have you heard anything? It's never happened to me.
Well, I wouldn't say I've met a ghost, but I've had some weird shit happen to me. Like, I definitely had some weird stuff. I've seen ghosts, but I didn't realize it was a ghost when I saw it. So, like, I was walking down, the fort by St. Augustine, and I was kind of new to the area, and I was meeting up locals who've lived there. And I had a Razor, so I had a flip phone. It was that long ago. And I was like, I thought people weren't supposed to be on the fort this late. The actors look like they're still there. And she starts laughing. She goes, what are you talking about? Nobody's allowed on the fort. I look back, all what I thought were character actors had disappeared. And there's at least 10 to 15 of these people on the outside of the fort. And I can't tell you what I saw, whether it was a wrinkle in time, that, but I know what I saw. They look like solid ass fucking people. And then I've had other weird experiences. But mostly like the one thing that people would call sleep paralysis. I had something holding me down. And it felt like it was breathing on me. And I couldn't move except my eyes. And then I remembered to pray. Like I was like praying and I heard this deep, soulful voice. Mm. And that's why I think I love Black people so much.
Oh, no.
No, but I heard who I think is my guardian angel or whoever. But he said, force. That's all he repeated. And I heard this. This is not me, just being crazy. You would think it's me being crazy. But so I thought he meant like force light out of me. Like, so I enveloped myself in a light and I could move again. And you would think I'd still be scared or something like after this thing. I just went to sleep. Like I felt warm inside and fell asleep like nothing.
Okay.
It was weird, but I do think like, I also had a weird dream that I had a whole Black family.
Hell yeah.
But I don't know if that was like a past life thing. Some people say that's like past life stuff, but like I knew all of them as my family, but I don't know them in this life. Like, but when I saw them, they were my family. Is that weird?
No, I was pushing that Black family saying, dude, we had a dream that mom was white. And
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I also had a dream I was a dude fucking a woman. So like, and the moment I tried to get my dick in, I woke up and I was like, God damn, this must how it all feels for God's sake.
You said like, was that thing, a show called Parent Swap, Wife Swap?
Well, yeah.
What was you in the dream? Like,
yeah,
I got a wife swap.
It's a white swap. No, but it was just funny though. I do look back at all that and like, I'm like, I wonder though if that was, but I was practicing a lot of things like mindful meditation and things like that. So
yeah, I can say that never happened to me.
You don't like think about past lives or anything like that, or you just don't care?
No, it's never, I don't think about that. It's an interesting concept, everything's connected. I think about kind of scientific level where if you're going to think about this as if everything, not everything, but if you put monkeys into like a room, give them a typewriter, eventually come up with Shakespeare. I think, and also Mark Twain's famous quote, all the original thoughts were by Adam and Eve. I just think...
not Adam and Steve, is that what you meant?
No, Adam and Steve weren't there, dude.
I'm pretty sure they probably were.
Just tease. They're like, what about me, bitch?
Oh, I'm sure they listen. I don't. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, but it's that kind of thought of like we all have these parallel thinking. I don't think it's that. The brain can only go so far with the expansion of.
Well, that's why you practice it. That's why it has to become something more conscious than a subconscious thing. But we got a few minutes left, but I just want to know if you want to promote anything. I know you and Mikey are going to come up with something. Do you know the name of your podcast?
I have no idea. Look out for Mikey B and the Beat podcast coming soon.
What about your Instagram?
Oh yeah, this makes me a douche.
This makes me a douche.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's a DOUCHE, like a real song.
Like a real douche. Like something you clean your insides with.
Yes, yeah, I know. I know. But I appreciate you coming, Jamar. Thanks so much for sharing your time with us. And I know you'll be back, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Well, thanks for tuning in to Los Rotos Podcast. And we'll see you guys later.